Okay, let's look at exercise 14.1 and learn how to do the bond valuation. So we are going to start with the problem. Let's just move that in this box over here. So here's our problem. It asks us if we have an investment in corporate debt securities. They're $100 million bonds. They each start January 1st, so that would be all of 2011, and they are determined at different times during the year. Our job is to figure out the value for the bond, which is the best investment opportunity. So what we need to know first are these steps to calculate a bond. So I've highlighted those. You should have seen them in the book as well. The first thing I'm going to say is calculate. So step one, we're going to calculate the present value of the face value of the bond. We are always going to use the market rate when we look at present values. So if we set this up as we had learned before, present value, future value, payment, interest, and periods, let's go fill those in. So the present value is what we're trying to find. That's what we want to know. The future value is actually the face value of this bond amount. So we have 100 million. The payment we don't have. The interest, again, we're always going to use the market rate. Now this says that the market rate is 10%. Now since this actually also tells us that it pays interest semi-annually, that means it pays interest 2 times a year, once in June and once in December. So we can't use the annual interest rate. We're going to have to take this and divide it by 2. So we'll take the 10%, divide it by 2. Same goes for the periods. This is a 20-year bond. Most bonds are actually 20 years. We see that this matures in 2030. We will take this for 20 years. Again, it pays interest twice a year, so we need to take the 20 and multiply that by 2. Then we can go solve just like we did before using present value. So we're going to go find the rate. We will go take the periods. I'm using a Mac, so your Microsoft version of Excel is going to look a teeny bit different than mine, but we're going to go through the same process. So this right here, 14 million, is the present value of this $100 million. Now with bonds, they pay interest to the bondholder. They're a legal obligation, which you read in the book, and they do pay interest to the bondholder. And this one pays it twice a year. So we're going to calculate the interest payment. This is straight up math, guys. So we have $100 million. And now we will look at the if we look at the coupon rate on this bond is the stated rate. So this is at 11%. So if we're looking at the 11%, we're going to take a look at this and say that this $100 million, we're going to divide this 11% by 2. So we'll take 11%, because it pays twice a year, divided by 2. And then we'll just multiply these. This times this. So we have that amount of interest that will be paid to our bondholder every 6 months. So this is the interest payment. So that is our step 2. Step 3, we're going to calculate the present value of the annuity that we just went and found. So this is the interest payment. That is an annuity. We pay our bondholders every 6 months $550,000. So we'll set it up again. Present value, future value, payment, I, and N. This is what we're figuring out. We just calculated this number, so I'm going to go say it's this. Our interest, again, it's the same as what was up here. It's half of the market rate, and the periods are double the periods. Now we're going to go solve for PV. So I'm going to say rate, periods, payment. We put a negative sign in front of it. It's the only dollar amount. And we say 94 is what we will use for the interest. So the last piece in calculating the value of this investment is to take the answer in step 1, which was the present value of the face value, and we're going to add that to step 3, which was the present value of the annuity. So the value of the bond is this amount plus this amount. And that is our answer. So the value of this investment is actually $108 million. So you go do the other ones. I'll post my Excel, but this should walk you through the process on how to calculate a bond.